Astrology and religion, two big words. But how are they connected? Well, let's find out. Hello, my name is Laurence Hillman and I'm your host for PlanetPlays. I bring you astrology for the savvy. Today we are finding out about connections between religion and astrology. There is some debate where the word religion comes from. Many say that the roots of the word come from the Latin religare, which means to tie or bind. We are deeply connected to what is sacred, and humans have been intertwined with the divine, whether gods, goddesses, or with a single god, forever. We can also think of these ties as a sacred contract, a mutual commitment. Religion started as a bond between humans and ancient divine beings, including Mother Earth herself. Sometimes our relationships with the divine are a one-way street of worshiping, independently or as a group, where we hope and pray that if we behave according to what our belief asks us to do, we will gain favor, even if such favor is in the afterlife. And at other times, our relationship with the divine is more distant and transactional, where, when in need, we pray for something good to happen to us. There are also times where people hear the divine speak to or through them. Such spiritual experiences often make a person more deeply connected to their religion. Essentially, any religion is a cultural framework for our beliefs and behaviors. Religion is an internal scaffolding that helps us find answers to our most difficult questions as human beings. What happens when we die? Where do we come from? What is the meaning of life? Religion also offers many people a moral compass about how to interact with fellow humans. And finally, traditional religion gives many people a reassuring sense that there is a divine supreme being, or several divine beings that rule the universe and keep divine order. So what about astrology? Well, astrology is also based upon a belief, one that says that what happens in the heavens is reflected on Earth. The planets have names of gods and goddesses. For instance, Mars was the Roman god of war. Astrologers see the planets as gods and goddesses in the sky and then read them symbolically. So if astrology is full of gods and goddesses, does this make astrology a religion? The answer might surprise you. First, let's get a brief history of astrology. Astrology was invented by the Babylonians many thousand years ago. The Babylonians inherited the constellations from the Sumerians before them and began to track the movements of the planets through the constellations. Ancient astrologers, who were simultaneously priests, related what they saw in the heavens to events on Earth, and they began to give meaning to the planets. Because the planets move in regular and predictable patterns, the Babylonians made simpler predictions about world events. Court astrologers were employed to make predictions for powerful rulers and ancient kings. Earlier I said that religion is how we are tied to the gods and goddesses, or to a single god. Astrology also claims that we are tied or connected to the planets. If we believe, as astrology claims, that the planets represent gods in the sky, then astrology in the literal sense could be called a religion. Yet there's an important difference between what we typically think of as religion and astrology. You see, astrology is based on the mechanical movements in the heavens where the planets come around every so often in precise and predictable ways. There is no judgment or morality in these celestial cycles. The planets just wander through the sky and describe natural patterns and structures that are reflected and can be recognized in life on Earth. There are also ways in which religion and astrology intersect, and sometimes this happens hidden in plain sight. Remember that astrology and religion are both full of symbols. A symbol is an object or image that represents something meaningful to the observer. Here's an example of a Catholic church with beautiful ornaments everywhere and lots of symbols and iconic motifs. Some people enjoy the beauty and the craftsmanship and the grandeur of the sacred space. Others also like to read the symbols. So let's do that. Let's take a closer look. Many people, perhaps with a Western Christian background, will recognize the four apostles. They are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. If you look more closely, you could discover that each of the 4 apostles has a creature very close to him. Matthew has a child angel, Mark has a lion, Luke an ox, and John an eagle. You can find these same 4 symbolic creatures with these same 4 apostles around the world whenever you visit a Catholic church or look at Catholic art. What is curious for those who look for deeper symbols and meanings is that these 4 creatures correspond with 4 astrological constellations or signs of the zodiac. The child angel then represents Aquarius or humankind, the lion represents Leo, the bull represents Taurus, and the eagle is in ancient symbolism often interchangeable with the scorpion or the zodiac sign of Scorpio. In astrology, Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, and Scorpio are the 4 signs that make up what is called the fixed cross of the zodiac. So you see, sometimes you can directly connect astrology and religion. Why could it be valuable and of interest to recognize astrological symbolism in religious places? Because astrology offers a unifying language in a separated world. We all share the skies, the planets, and their constant movements. Recognizing astrological symbols in religious iconography shows us that astrology is deeply embedded in many cultures and in our ways of thinking. Shakespeare, for instance, used a lot of astrology in his writings. For instance, in Henry IV, Part 2, Prince Henry asks, "Saturn and Venus this year in conjunction, what says the almanac to that?" The more you understand the astrological language, the better you can appreciate and understand the wisdom of Shakespeare and countless other writers, painters, musicians, and world religions. You learn to read and appreciate the symbols around you. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time on PlanetPlays, this is Laurence Hillman, and now you know.